So I have a student who called me the other day, and we talked for about an hour about her job and kind of just balancing her schoolwork. She's a senior and she wants to try to graduate this year, so it's been interesting just having like a really intense balance with work that she's facing right now, as she works at a nursing home, and it's just a lot of work going on there. And as you might imagine, right now it's really isolating. And so she was just kind of talking about how she feels like she puts in so much time with a lot of the residents, and she just tries to make it a good experience for them, with limited resources, and even knowing sometimes the next shift will come in and really not do too much with the residents. They might just kind of leave them in bed late or put them to bed early. They might just not interact with them as much, and so she sees some of these people who kind of just treat the job like a job, whereas she feels that she really needs to put more in, and she really feels more motivated to really help these people. Like, she's a very empathetic person. I think she's like more of an idealist like me. And so I really related to her, and I think she just kind of made me think about what we're seeing, with the Great Resignation now. We hear all over the news and everything. A lot of people just kind of leaving the workforce, and I think just like the stress that's involved in a lot of jobs and how that leads to this as well. I think especially as a teacher, I can relate to this. Even mentioning the 1 hour phone conversation, we put in so much extra effort as teachers. We plan things in unique ways so that we can reach every student in our classroom. We put in way too many hours. We just try our best to just reach everybody and help everybody. I think as educators, at least most of us do, I would say. And so she was asking for advice, like how to create a strong balance where she's not getting so overworked and just so overwhelmed with her commitment to work, but also being able to focus on the rest of her life. And I told her that that's something really important for her right now, because she is still a student. She does need to put her schoolwork first, of course. And then I told her, honestly, I think that balance between work and the rest of your life is something kind of everyone needs to decide as an individual. Like, I think there are people who are content putting a lot of effort into their work and putting their heart and soul into it, and it's just something that they're very passionate about. While there are other people who are content to kind of have their job be more their day job, and then they come home and then there's other things that they're more focused on. There's not too much that they put into their work. And I think I've always been the person who just puts in a lot into work. And one of the bad things about that is that you risk becoming burnt out. You're putting in so much effort and so much time, and in the realm of education, at least, you don't always see a lot of reward for all that extra work. Like, it is very beautiful when you have students that return to you and tell you, even like this student, about how they were really helped by you, and that's why they reached out to you, and that they know you'll listen to them, and that they know that you're someone they can rely on, and someone who's inspired them in some different way. And so that, I think, is really heartwarming. And every time a student reaches out to me, or a past student reaches out to me, I think that's like a very amazing reward. Just hearing how I have helped them or influenced them in some way. But honestly, teaching, we don't get a lot of that. We do not get paid properly, and we also have a lot of other stressful factors that I don't think are involved in many jobs. Least of which is probably, well, not least of which, but one major one that we're seeing now probably is just people really not understanding what we're doing. People not understanding the importance of teachers, and people degrading the importance of teachers. I think that just has a negative impact, not just on teachers, but on the whole entire world. If you're discounting the profession that's raising the future, you're discounting the entire future. And that is really heartbreaking and really, really disappointing. And yet some people are doing that so flippantly, as if it's nothing. And so that's, I think, heartbreaking. That might be something for another day. But that's important to consider too. And so when I was talking to the student, I was trying to let her know she's going to have to find this balance on her own, but that whenever she can, if she finds it valuable to talk to people like me who can kind of share our own experience with trying to find that work balance, that definitely she should reach out to us and we can help her. I shared a little bit about my own story with her of just trying to know, just trying to find my own priorities. And she knows about the cancer, and she knows that I have young children, and so that that I had to just say, I will put in a lot of effort for those who want it and who want to learn and who will, I'll try my best for those who are going to just ignore everything, but there's only so much I can do. And I think for a while as a teacher, I was just putting in so much extra time just trying to reach these people who would ignore every phone call, ignore every email. And just really, I just felt very stressed by that, feeling that I couldn't reach some of my students and some of my families. And that really burned me out too, just trying to figure out different ways to reach them, get a hold of them. And so I kind of I've just given myself a little grace in that area particularly, and that's made a difference. I've given myself some grace in feedback for students too. I used to give so much feedback, and honestly, students don't read when you have a lot of feedback. They're just overwhelmed. So I've picked the areas that are most important in my feedback for students, and just really focused on a couple things that I think will help strengthen wherever they're at. Because honestly, if you have a student who is a freshman yet they're still writing at a 5th grade level, you can't pick apart every single thing they're not doing to their level. You have to pick maybe one or two of the most important things that'll help them grow and really focus on those and some strategies for growing those particular traits. And so that's what I've been doing more of, and that's actually helped a lot, I think, with student focus, with student writing growth, and also with keeping me less overwhelmed, which is important too. So I can continue to go on and hopefully keep reaching out to students and hopefully keep having them be motivated enough to want to call and just chat for an hour.